is ready. And when we're looking at these sort of things, it's not the end of the world. You know, when you're talking about a solar flare hitting the Earth on 7/7, that is not an end of the world scenario. It might shut down the power grid, it might cause some storms, it might, but it's not a kill shot, unless it does become one, as Major Ed Dames was trying to predict as well. It is crazy times for us. So, while they're bombing the moon and looking at that scenario, what is occurring right now? We got our first shots from the La Crosse satellite as it boomeranged around the moon to head back towards Earth, and now it is booming around Earth to head back, I guess, to the moon. But it also, the LRO, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, is also orbiting the moon. You see, these were launched together on June 18th in the Atlas rocket. They went up, and the LRO detached from the Atlas and then went on and set up orbit around the moon 4 days later. That was about the 22nd. And the rocket itself, carrying the La Crosse satellite, has projected itself back at Earth and is fixing an orbit so that in October it can crash into the moon. Because that is the plan, to crash the rocket into the moon as the La Crosse satellite orbits around the moon and gathers the data. Then the La Crosse will send that data and then crash into the moon itself. And we can all watch this on October 9th. I hope to be watching it through my telescope. So we are bombing the moon to hopefully put up a new space base on the moon. Imagine that. So this is why I come out with stories like Obama cloning in the coming space war, because I want to highlight what I believe is going to be the critical issues of the coming times, and this is definitely it, and you can see that it is, and the more that I talk about it, the more things happen. I don't know if there's a connection there, but I doubt it. I'm not ready to think that way yet. But there is a coming space war coming to you, and there is going to be some crazy mayhem, and we need to have some forethought on how we're going to adjust to these situations so that we can have a proper response in this scenario, so that we can then not react in the way that the Illuminati or those secret think tanks, the CFR, the Trilats, the Bilderbergs, all of these others are hoping that we will react. Now, they are very good at setting up the situations, at putting us in positions that we have a very difficult time getting out of. And I want to remind you once again that miracles do happen, that there is a miraculous reality out there just waiting, just loving the fact that you want to be a part of it. And it will join with you, and you will join with it, and the world can go in another direction. But we have been led astray from this miraculous life by the reality manufacturers that are putting out their pop icons in front of us so that we have things to look at and to think about, that we will not adjust and gather our own ideas of reality and therefore create a life worth living. Last little note on the 4th of July events, there was quite an event that did occur, and that was the parking lot war in Jerusalem. So just to not miss that in the rest of my story here, there was an event that did occur on the 4th of July in Jerusalem. It was the parking lot war, and that is the idea of them having a parking lot open on the Sabbath. Now, the Sabbath is also connected to the Shekinah, and we're going to get into that more. And I've even also now discovered from an ancient book I picked up in London that the old El Diablo sign that we say that is the symbol of Satan, this one that we're seeing everyone use all over the place, is actually not a sign of the devil, but a sign of Diana. And this will be yet another connection to the Shekinah goddess. And of course, Princess Diana and Michael Jackson go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. I will always see those two together in my mind for some reason. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope to get this out in time. This is Radio Freeman coming to you nearly live from the bunker here in Austin, Texas. And this is RevereRadio.net. You guys, until Saturday, you can check me out on the Free Zone Saturday nights on Oracle Broadcasting. Always a good time there. And otherwise, I'll check back in with you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. here for Radio Freeman on RevereRadio.net.